When it comes to subnetting, this is going to be one of the most important part, which is stealing the bits from a given IP address. Okay. Um, we will perform a very simple exercise over here because then we will be able, to understand the exercises that we are going to cover later on. So these are just, the tools and the equipments. I'm making it ready for you. So when we will go and will perform exercises, we will not be, touching these topics again. So we will go very quickly because you will already have your basic idea how we convert decimal into binary or binary into decimal, then how we can find a number of networks, and then how we can steal the bits. Okay, this which I'm going to show you here. So first thing first, the required number of networks we have done so many times. For this we need how many networks? Total 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. First convert this decimal or the IP address into binary, because we have already done this and you can do it. If you just don't want to see it, just pause the video and just perform or do it, convert this decimal into the binary. But I have already done it for you here. So as you can see, I converted this IP address into the binary format because we are going to need this one. After that is given base system. So this is our, we have already talked, this is our base 2 numbering system. 2 multiplied by 2 4, 4 multiplied by 2 8, 8 multiplied by 2 16, and all the way to the 256. So here is the note, it's mentioning that is given base system, this base system is greater than the network number in question, which is this one. So we have to find out. So 2 is greater than 5? No. Is 4 greater than 5? No. Is 8 greater than 5? Yes. So our criteria matched at this position, which is sitting at what number? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we need this thing 3. So that is why I have mentioned it. At what position does 8 sits? It sits at 3. So how many bits we need to steal? Then we need to steal 3 bits. From where? From our this binary, from the IP address which we converted into the binary. And we know class C is /24, which is 1888824. It means this is the network portion and this is your host portion. So we need to steal 3 bits from where? From your host portion. So when you are going to find a number of networks, you are always going from your, the direction should be left to right in order to steal the bits. So it is mentioning here how many bits we need to steal. 3. I'm going to choose a different color. So this we will not touch because these are network portion. The change we need to make in the host portion, and how many bits we need to steal? 3. 1, 2, 3. You need to just draw a one line here. That's it. Okay. Then in the exercise I will show you, this is called the least significant bit, and at what position this LSB stands. When we'll do this the base numbering system again, you will see and you will count at what position this LSB stand. Then we will be able to find the number of blocks, which I'm going to cover in the next slide. So I hope you get this idea. So let's head over to the next slide, which is talking about the demo or the exercise. We have to find a number of networks from the given IP address. Which IP address? This is class C 216.215.50.0. How many number of networks you require? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the criteria. So let's read here the case study as well. What it's talking about. You are an IT administrator for organization. Your boss head over to you to give you a simple task. He wants to take a responsibility to squeeze the number of network from a perspective of IP. Currently you are running class C network, but you only need 5 number of network for class C. So you do not want to waste this whole class C, but you want to divide this class C into small chunks, into 5 chunks. So you can use here, you can use here, you can use here, here and here as well. Okay, so we are going to perform a task. Let's head over to the next slide. So this is basically, I have already make it ready for you. Like this is the criteria we already discussed here. Class C, this IP, and how many number of networks required? 5. Okay. Other than that, what are the things we need in order to perform subnetting? This is, we have already discussed. Sorry. Yeah, this we have already discussed. This one is base 2 numbering system, and this is also a base 2 numbering system. But you need to keep this thing on top of your head when finding how many bits we need to steal. It shouldn't start from 1. It should start from 2, 4, 8, 6, 13, 2, 16, 32 and 64. Okay. But when we have to convert decimal into binary that we have already performed earlier, it always starts from 1, 1, and this remaining part is very similar to this one. Okay. After that, we need to fill out these things. So, in because I cannot do this here, even if I will try to click, it will proceed to the next slide. So what I'm gonna do, I just copy this thing. I will open MS Paint and I will paste this same thing here. Okay, because we have a space here and then we can do anything here. So far so good. Our requirement is, so we will fill these criteria one by one. Number of networks, we know how many number of networks we need. So instead of using this one, I'm gonna use the notepad tools. How many number of networks we need? It is mentioned here, 5. And I'm going to make it a little bit large so you can see it. After that, bits need to steal, and we have already performed this procedure in our previous slide. So in order to do that, what you need to do, you have to compare this number of network with your base numbering system. So let me choose the marker here, and the color for that I'm gonna use, let's say this one. Okay, for that we have already talked, is 2 greater than 5? No. Is 4 greater than 5? No. Is 8 greater than 5? Yes, our criteria matched at this position. Which is at what position? 1, 2, 3. So you need to write here. How many bits we need to steal? 3. And I'm making it bold. Okay. After that, convert decimal into binary. So after that we have to convert this 216, 21 and 50.0 into binary, and we have already done this. So I will go online, which is basically convert IP into binary, and I will click this one. So you don't have to do this because I'm running out of time, and we have already performed this procedure, the conversions. That's why I just don't want to do it again. So the number is 216.2150.0. Okay, if you cannot see, I'm gonna make it large. So double check, this is the same thing we are looking for. 216.2150.0, convert into a binary. So we have this binary format. Just copy this one, and then we need to paste it over here. Okay, and for the sake of differentiation, I'm just going to change the color of this one. Let's make it green. Okay, so we have performed this task as well. After that, we have to find the least significant bit, and we have already gone through in our previous slide how many bits we need to steal. 3. So this is class C, which shows that this is going to be my network portion, and this is going to be my host portion. So where we want to make change into our host portion, because this is the portion from where we want to steal the bits. So how many bits we want to steal? 3. So select some line so we can draw some line. 1, 2 and 3. So after that, just draw a line so we can remember at what point we have uh, stolen the bits. Okay, we don't need to touch this network portion, but since the change is happening in the host portion, we are going to steal 3 bits, which is until here. Okay, this is done. After that, determine the block size, because this is the thing. On the basis of that, we are going to chop our IP address into multiple subnets. By the way, this is your least significant bit, LSB, but we have to find out at what position does it sit. This is we are going to get from where we know this is 1, this bit is at 2 position, third one at 4th, and then fourth one is at 8, fifth one is at 16. So it means this least significant bit, which I'm going to change color, this least significant bit is sitting on which numbering system? 32. So that is going to be our block size, and I will show you what block size can help us. Okay, so just keep it in mind. So instead of using I'm using MS Paint tool, so it won't be wipe out when I will remove from it. So I'm not using this tool, I'm using the Paint tool. So 32 is the block size. After that, determine the subnet mask. We know class C is /24. How? You can count 8 plus 8 plus 8. If we add these all, it becomes how much? 24. But how many bits we stole from the host portion? 1, 2, and 3. Just add these into your default subnet mask, which becomes how much? 27. So 27 is going to be our new subnet mask /27. No? Okay. I hope you got the point. So this is basically the format we always follow. For that you have to try and practice again and again and again. We are going to perform another lab after that, which will also be very similar to that. But keep it in mind, and if you are going to see this as the first time, maybe it will be mind blowing for you. But when you will do practice again and again, to be very honest, you even do not need to remember this the bits how you are gonna steal. This will be running on top of your head automatically. You can calculate, and within 1 minute you will be able to find the ranges. So basically this is we are heading toward. So this is the final piece we are looking for. Okay. So /27 is the subnet mask we determined, and the block size is 32. So we have all information ready with us. So I'm going to remove extra things that we do not require. Okay, so that's it. So here we are going to create the array. So here I have mentioned the network ID, broadcast ID, first network, and last network. Every IP address has one network ID, one broadcast ID. Then these are the host portions that we are going to give to our like routers or our host machines. Okay, network ID and broadcast ID we cannot use. So basically network ID is going to be the your first IP address, the range we are going to determine, and broadcast ID is going to be your last IP address of the same range. In between, whatever will come will be your host portions, which is first network until the last network, which we are going to find. So I'm going to write down the first network ID, okay, the range, okay, and it depends on what? The block size. So I'm going to use this writing tool. So the first network ID will be what? This was our class C IP address. So write down 216.21.50.0 as it is. Okay, this is going to be our first network ID. After that, we know the block size is 32. So the next network ID will be 216.21, sorry, 21.50.32. Then because we need 5 networks, so this is first network, this is going to be our second network. Now I'm going to write down the third network, which is 216.21.50, 32 plus 32, because we have to add every time 32 this block size into the new IP address. 32 plus 32, which becomes 64. So this is going to be our third, and now I'm going to write the fourth one, 216.21.50, then add 32 into 64, which becomes 696. After that, the fifth network will be 20 why I'm typing 24 always. Okay, 21.50, then we need to add 32 into 96, which becomes what? 128. After that, although we have achieved 1 2 3 4 5 networks, but we need one more. Why? I will show you. 216 21.50, and when added 32 into 128, which becomes what? 160. Yeah. So this is the first network ID range we got. After that, I need to find out the last IP address, which is also known as the broadcast ID, which is nothing but whatever comes next, this network ID minus 1. So for that, you will see 216.21.50 and minus 32, 32 minus 1, 31. Okay, so this is going to be your broadcast ID. Similarly, the next will be 216. I'm gonna change color again. 216. Just a minute. I will just copy this one here. 216, 21, 50, then 64 minus 1, 63. Similarly, 96 minus 1, 95. Then for the fourth network, the broadcast ID will be 128 minus 1, which becomes 127. And for the fifth network, now this is why I said that we need to go to the sixth position, so we can get the last broadcast ID for the fifth network, which is what? 160 minus 1, 159. So we got our network ID and the broadcast ID. So this is our network ID and this range is our broadcast ID. So what is next? The first network and the last network, or the first, or the ranges of from first host to the last host. So whatever comes in between between these two will be our first host ID and the last host ID, which I'm going to use in a different color. Let's choose this one, brown. How to find the first network? Network ID plus 1. Okay, 216, 21, 50, 0 plus 1, 1. So this is the first host we got, and the last network or the last host ID will be broadcast ID minus 1, which is what? 216.21.50.31. 31 minus 1, how much? 30. Okay, so this is going to be our range for our first network. Similarly, on the basis of the same concept, we are going to perform the first and last host for the second network. And I told you how: network ID plus 1, 216.21.50, 32 plus 1 is what? 32 plus 1 is 33. And the last is broadcast ID -1, 216.21.50.62. And on the basis of the same concept, I'm going to perform these very quickly. 21.50.65, because we have to add into this host, and then minus into 95 minus 1 to get the last host, which becomes 94. Similarly, for the fourth network, 216.250.97 and 216.21.50.126, and the last piece is 216.21.50.129, 216.21.50.158. Okay, if you cannot see this one, I'm gonna type it here for you since it is in green. This is your network ID, then this is your broadcast ID, then this is going to be your first host address, host ID, and this is going to be your last host ID. So as you can clearly see, the class C 216.21.50.0, we divided into multiple network ranges. Okay, it means you can clearly see here we didn't change 50. Means if want to if we are doing the normal subnetting, we could do like this: 216.21.50.0, another network is 216.21.51.0, 52.0, 53.0, all the way up till this class C ranges. But you can see we didn't touch this range, but we divided this into multiple networks so we can use in our networking environment. So what if I just bring this network? I will copy this one, I will bring here, and then we will assign these ranges to there. But before I assign, first I want to verify whether whatever I have did, is it right or wrong. Okay, because when you will be doing it, I will not be available to review that one. So you have to do, or you have to double check by yourself. For that, I have given you one this subnet calculator. Just copy this link or open hyperlink. It will take me to the this IP subnet calculator. Just pick this class C IP address, put it in the IP address section, and then we find out that the range is /27. This is our new range, by the way. Okay, so we have to first of all select network class, which is class C, and then we need to choose /27 here. And by the way, subnet, if you convert this subnet mask, it will become 255.255.255.224 for that one, for these all ranges. Okay, if you click on this calculate, very immediately it will show you the result. So just I need to take a print out for this one, and I just need to copy to clipboard because I will bring it here. Just remove this one and bring it down here. and just for the sake of verification, so let's verify it. Network address, first one 216.215.0, correct. And the broadcast, usually they do like this in such fashion: network ID first, in the last broadcast ID, and then in between the usable host range. But I have performed broadcast ID first, so let's tally this one with this one, 216.250.31, which is also correct. And then range is 50.1 all the way to 50.30, 50.1 all the way to 50.30. Okay, that is correct. Then we have very quickly 32, 64, 96. 32 is correct, 64 is correct, 96 is correct. You can tally from here, 128 and then 160. Then broadcast ID range 63, okay, 95, okay, 127 and 159. After that, these are the usable host ranges. We have verified this one is okay. Then we have 216, 33 all the way to 62, 33 all the way to 62, then 65 to 94, yes, 97 to 126, and then the final piece is 129 to 158. So it means we are on the mark. We have achieved our objective.